The road to Hollow Creek had no lights that night. Just two thin lanes of cracked asphalt, vanishing into an ocean of fog. The rain came steady, whispering against the windshield of Claire's rented car. She hadn't meant to drive this far, only to clear her head. But in the endless quiet of the New England backroads, you can lose track of more than just time. Her GPS had died an hour ago. Her phone blinked out 30 minutes later. When the car coughed, sputtered, and fell still, she sat for a moment, staring into the darkness beyond the windshield. Just rain, just trees, and then a light. A warm, flickering glow deeper down the road. Maybe a porch lamp, maybe a house. The kind of light you hope for when everything else has gone wrong. Claire grabbed her coat, stepped out into the storm, and started walking. The light grew clearer as she climbed the hill. An old house perched behind a wrought iron gate, half hidden by oak trees. The gate hung open, as though it had been waiting for her. The house itself was beautiful in a broken way. Wide porch, peeling white paint, shutters sagging. Rain shimmered on the windows like tears. She hesitated. Every instinct said no. But the cold cut deep, and her car was already swallowed by the dark. When she stepped onto the porch, the boards groaned under her boots. The light she'd seen came from a single oil lamp near the door. Strange, who still used oil lamps? Then, without her touching it, the front door eased open with a long, tired creak. For a moment, she told herself someone inside had heard her coming, that there'd be a voice, face, but there was only quiet. Still warmth poured out from within. She crossed the threshold. Inside, it was as though the world outside had ceased to exist. The air was still, scented faintly with old wood and something floral. Lavender, maybe. The wallpaper curled at the corners, its faded gold pattern catching the glow of the lamp. And then she saw it, a grandfather clock at the far end of the hallway. All dustless, ticking. Claire's eyes drifted toward the staircase, wide, sweeping, carpeted in dark red. Along the wall, framed portraits. Faces of people in stiff Victorian dress. One, near the bottom of the stairs, stopped her cold. A young woman, pale, dark hair pinned neatly, seated in front of the very same staircase. The brass nameplate read, Clara Whitmore, 1897 to 1902. A date that made no sense. A girl that looked almost like her. That's impossible. Her voice sounded too loud in the stillness. The clock's pendulum swung. Once, Claire turned quickly, half expecting someone to be behind her. No one. She moved deeper inside, toward a sitting room where a fire burned low. The flames barely flickered, frozen mid-motion. She blinked. It was burning but not moving. Then she heard it. A sound like whispering, far away beneath the hum of the rain. She followed the sound to a doorway leading to the kitchen. Empty, save for a single teacup steaming on the table. She touched the cup. It was warm. Too warm. Every sound seemed to crawl closer. The air felt alive, pressing against her skin, breathing with her. She called out, voice shaking slightly. Hello. Is anyone here? My car broke down. I just need a phone. Her words died quickly, devoured by the silence. And then, from upstairs, a single floorboard creaked. She froze, every muscle tensed. Hello! The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was listening. She took a step toward the staircase. Then another. Each footfall matched by something faint above her. A second set of steps, echoing her own. Halfway up she stopped. The air grew heavy, suffocating. At the landing, the hallway stretched long and dark, lined with closed doors. The whispering had stopped, replaced by a low hum, electrical yet ancient. Something was wrong with the mirrors here. They reflected light but not motion. She waved her hand slowly. The reflection lingered a second too long. And for the first time that night, Claire thought she saw someone standing behind her. A shadow, faintly human, in the mirror's edge. She turned. Nothing. But when she looked back, her reflection was smiling. She stumbled backward, nearly tripping over the rug. Her chest tightened. The air felt wrong, heavy like the moment before thunder. Then the light flickered. Once. And went out. When the light went out, Claire froze, her breath catching in her throat. The hallway stretched endlessly before her. Or at least it felt endless. She took a cautious step forward, hand outstretched, brushing along the wall. The wallpaper's curling edges seemed to shift beneath her fingertips, subtle, but enough to make her flinch. She tried to rationalize. Old house. Storm. My imagination. But logic offered no comfort when the grandfather clock chimed. Once, slow, deliberate. The sound echoed unnaturally, bouncing off the walls, reverberating in her chest. Suddenly, the whispers returned. Low, overlapping voices, almost pleading, almost laughing. She couldn't understand the words, but she felt them crawling under her skin. Her hands shook as she reached the door to what she assumed was a bedroom. Inside, the room was pristine. Bed made. Curtains drawn. A rocking chair swayed gently, though nothing sat in it. On the nightstand, a photograph. A young woman, herself unmistakably, smiling in a summer dress. The date scribbled on the back. October 15th, 1996. Claire dropped the photo, stumbling back. Claire panicked. This isn't possible, she said. I've never. She paused, looking confused. She spun around. Empty room. But in the hallway she caught movement. A figure, faint, shadowed, tall. It stepped closer, but each step seemed to melt into the floor, unsteady, surreal. The house was no longer just a building. It was aware of her, watching, waiting, shaping itself around her fear. Her phone lay in her coat pocket, useless, dead. Her car, gone from memory, replaced by the house's impossible interior. The windows now revealed not rain and fog, but endless darkness, a void stretching outward. She ran toward the stairs, desperate to escape, but the hallway stretched farther, longer than it had been. Her own footsteps echoed, then split, a second set of steps keeping pace. Stop following me. A door at the far end opened on its own. Light spilled into the hallway, warm, inviting. A voice came, soft, familiar. Claire, come upstairs. It's time. Her legs moved without thought, as though pulled by some invisible cord. The stairs, familiar yet unfamiliar, rose before her. Each step groaned. Each step stretched longer than the last. At the landing, the hallway stretched lined with mirrors, each reflecting something impossible. In some she was older, in some younger, in some not there at all. Always, smiling behind her, a version of herself that she didn't recognize. The house doesn't just remember the people who enter, creates them. One reflection stepped forward, leaving the glass behind. It mirrored her movements perfectly, except the smile never faltered. No, this isn't real. The reflection tilted her head, and a laugh, her own but not her own, echoed around the room. Claire stumbled backward, tripping over the rug she'd almost fallen on earlier. She hit the wall, the mirrors trembling. A door at the end of the hall swung open, revealing a staircase descending into blackness. Compelled, terrified, she went down. The basement, endless, cold stone, dripping with unseen moisture. And in the corner, faint shapes. Chairs, tables, portraits, all blurred, all warped. At the center, a single chair, facing away, rocking gently. She approached. The chair stopped. In the reflection of a small puddle on the floor, she saw herself, sitting, smiling. Not in the chair but in the puddle. "Stay, you belong here now." The air thickened, heavy and suffocating. She tried to run back upstairs. The staircase stretched endlessly. Her own hand seemed to reach further and further without touching the railing. The reflection in the puddle rose, stepping out of the water, real, and it grabbed her. Claire Whitmore never left Hollow Creek that night. But sometimes in the old house on the hill, if the storm is just right, someone will see her in the mirror, smiling, waiting, and if you look too long, you might see yourself. Some doors don't open to shelter. They open to memory. And once you're inside, the house remembers you too. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss another chilling tale from Whispers in the Dark. And remember, some houses aren't haunted by ghosts. They're haunted by the people who never left.